Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Victoria Lorian Fabish on Courageous Conversations. Let me know you're here when you join us, and I'm here with the incomparable Shuritta Cooks. Yay! I love that you're here. Thank you so much. But before we go anywhere, we're going to do some sharing, okay, Shuritta? So take your phone, and the key thing about social media. Hey, Michael, good to see you, and just thank you for joining. I just want everyone to start sharing this information because we're going to be talking quite courageously about just, hi Nad, how's Cancun, Nad, the lovely Nadia. She and I, she was here on the show just recently, and Ron, nice to see you.
That was an amazing show. That really,
That was amazing, yeah. And we've got a big announcement to make soon, but not quite. I'll shut up, Nadia. Okay, so what I want you to do is you go to let's see, refresh, there we go. And so it should be here now. I'm just helping the lovely, there we go. So share that on your group, share that on your pages. That's what I'm going to do. And hopefully everyone's going to start to join us, because this information is useless, useless if it's not shared, in my opinion. And really the truth is that we love to share courageous conversations and courageous decisions and courageous acts. And you know, that is what you've done in so many ways. Anyone I have on here is because I got to tell you, the reason I have people on here is because I admire them, and because there's some aspect to what they have done. And so I'm just sharing all of my pages, Courageous Conversations. And if you're joining us, I know you have some people also watching. I'm just going to share on a friend's timeline. I think I'll share on yours, which is Shuritta. There we go. I'm sharing it on yours. And I want to have us all sort of, hi Tanya, nice to see you. We're talking about the entire experience of, you know, changing our location, but also changing our entire philosophy. Hello, Roisin. Nice to see you. I am appreciating your joining us. And also, you know, shifting the whole the organization that you have created comes from that sort of Ubuntu African philosophy of, you know, I am because we are.
Absolutely.
Tell me how that came about. What you thought? Okay, I've got to do this. Why that organization? Why bring about an organization like Shyft Events?
Well, you know, I just said to myself, you know, I wanted to take all of my amazing life experiences and work experiences.
Yes.
And I just had this song inside of me, and it just would not be quiet. And, you know, but, you know, I do believe that there are seasons in our lives, and that when the timing is right, you know, the season will present itself. And I could feel the shift was happening inside of me, and I knew it was coming.
Yes.
And I think it just sort of, you know, culminated at a point in my life when I turned 50. And that was just
that moment, right?
You know, it's like, okay, I think it's time, you know. And I was just getting sort of subtle messages from the universe and saying, okay, it's time. The song is coming up, and it's coming up. So I decided I was going to create Shyft Events. And it's based on the philosophy of the reason Shyft is because it came from the shift that I wanted to incorporate into Shyft Events is about, from, you know, we do so much online, and that's great. I mean, I love online. It's amazing. It's changed and transformed our lives in the way we do business.
And I say to people before you go forward, listen, if you're going to do lots of social media, great, but use it only for good.
Yes,
use it for good, to promote good, to do good, to experience good, and share good.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, you know, I wanted it to be very community based, and the philosophy that I've always taken from South Africa is the philosophy of Ubuntu, and really that is just, it's all about community. And it's like, I am nothing because I'm on my own. I am because of what I am because of the community that surrounds me.
I so agree with
that.
And
it goes both ways. It's reciprocal. So I wanted a community where we were doing things on a community level. It was not just stuff online, and I do use online, and as I say, I love it. But I really wanted it to be sort of more one-on-one, make those real connections, and form relationships and form community. And that's been my sort of ground philosophy.
And we've had lots of people joining. Michael, and thank you, Michael from Cozumel. And Kim McCallum says, Shuritta, I'm so glad to tune in and hear your message. And Tanya, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Tanya. And Roisin waving. Hello. Good to meet you all and see you all. And I have to say, you know, when a person comes from a trauma, whether it's a trauma environment or a trauma family, there's this instinct to hide in many ways, to seek safety, seek your, totally agree, you know, to be always, as we say, you know, what's the shoreline? Yeah. And you said something about shorelines.
Yeah, and you know, to get to that, you know, the thing is, I didn't suffer through what I grew up in South Africa, you know, given the fact that it was really apartheid, which was separating white people from black people, which was, in my experience as a child growing up in that, was just, I couldn't understand it, but I knew it felt wrong. And I grew up on a farm where I used to play with, you know, the people that used to work on the farm. I used to play with their kids, and I couldn't understand it. So, you know, the thing is, I didn't suffer through it, but there were many people who did suffer.
That you love.
Well, yes, and because of it, it was, I can't understand why you're separating us. And my mind couldn't, I was too young to understand that concept. But I just knew it felt wrong. That's the only thing I knew, was that it just didn't feel right. But, you know, what I want to say is that, so yes, there were many people who suffered through it. I think, you know, for me, part of it was feeling, as I grew older, it was more of a shameful feeling. It's like, why on earth did this even happen in the first place? Right? And that's just the truth. But, you know, it took me to lose sight of the shore. When I came to Canada, that is when it really sort of started to make sense, and it really started to sink in. And I was like, you know, there's this incredible man spending 27 years of his life in prison, and just, you know,
so unjust,
an absolute hero to me. And here I am, this, you know, carefree little white girl running around on a farm, sort of getting lost in her own world, you know, and not knowing that my journey would take me across the ocean, come to a place like Canada, where the philosophy, you know, I call it conscious leadership, because it was on a different consciousness, and it took that to change the country. And I've always said, that is what I will take with me for the rest of my life. And he touched me so deeply, and I will always take that with me, and I will do that with anything that I ever do, will be with the conscious leadership that he led with. So
it makes me cry. The notion of conscious leadership makes me cry, because that is rare.
Yes, absolutely.
It's rare. It's rare.
Yes.
And those who do it in those positive ways and in those powerful, they're courageous. It's not common.
No, it isn't.
It's not the norm. It's not anything that people are, you know, doing on any kind of a level. Hey, Gord, nice to see you. I love Gord. He's from the Spoons. He's awesome. He does amazing concerts, and he's just,
Hi, Gord.
Yeah. And what I will say is that when people lead from consciousness, and by the way, it doesn't need to mean, you know, leading a country. It can simply be, you know, be leading your family consciously, leading your classroom consciously, you know, leading your office consciously. Leadership.
Yeah.
The reason that I feel that Shyft events is so important is because you are promoting the type of conscious unity, conscious community that I believe will ripple, or does ripple, has a massive ripple effect.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it's just taking all this that I've experienced and just letting it out, and I'll see where it takes me. But that whole,
but you're contributing to conscious leadership creation. You're contributing to conscious community. which makes the hugest of difference on this planet. Makes the hugest of difference. My tears are making my eyes burn. You know,
I mean, you know, that's the reason this is a courageous conversation, is because, you know, as you say, it is a rare thing for somebody to step up like that and, you know, have to sacrifice most of their life in order for a country to wake up eventually, years down the road. And, you know, this happens in our communities every day. You know, we have shootings here every day. And that's, to me, there's not enough conscious leadership within our communities. So, you know, as you say, whether it's in your own home, your classroom, you know, whether you're a coach, no matter what it is, you're a hockey coach, whatever it is, be conscious. Take those kids and step it up. You know, show them the way.
Don't just put in your day. Don't just put in your day, you know. Hey, Katie, talk about she was my guest last time, beautiful Katie.
Oh, hi, Katie.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here, my sweet love.
What a blessing.
Yeah, what a blessing.
What a blessing.
You know, this is what what you're speaking about is so profound, because I just want to make sure that people really get the impact of the notion of conscious leadership. Every one of us can be a conscious leader. And shifting your perspective is what it takes.
Absolutely.
Is what it absolutely takes.
And that's why I called it Shyft Events, because I said to myself, whatever I do, I'm going to take that Ubuntu philosophy, that conscious leadership, and it has to bleed into everything I do. And that is the shift, and that is where my heart is.
Well, and I can feel it every time I speak with you, every time I commune with you, every time I'm with you. I feel that energetic of that conscious, that decision to be conscious, to not just be, you know, putting in day-to-day life.
Yes.
That's not what you're doing. No. It's not what I'm doing. It's not, you know, so, and that's what is so crucial. I want to say, one of the things that I'm really excited to do with you next week on Wednesday is I'm going to be facilitating beta testing, really bringing in some very brand new material that I've written that we're going to be, you know, bringing to the group, called Stop Dimming Your Light. And I'm so excited that we're going to do that, because, and it's so incredibly, you know, almost like nominally priced, because literally we're just paying for, you know, the space and whatever it is. And to be honest with you, it's just us really wanting to expose people to new material, because I really want to expand this material, the Stop Dimming Your Light material. But come and join us, because, you know, when you and I spoke, when I was on the island doing my artist retreat, writing this, I was literally writing it as we were speaking and saying, come on. And I said, well, I'm writing something new. Let's do this. And for you, I thought, how cool that you bring people together, and not just to do, let's just do, you know, something, you know, some sales workshop or some, you know, how to communicate better workshop. No, we're doing like deep stuff, because people dim their light. You know, as you said, I think you said, you know, the way apartheid was, it dimmed an entire country's light. It did. And trauma will do that. Yes. Trauma will do that. So, you know, to me, that was very fear-based. Conscious leadership is about love-based. And it's obvious, it's not the easiest choice. Sometimes it's the more difficult choice. I would say, but it's the right choice. Yeah, exactly. It's the right choice. And anytime you come from a place of love, that's powerful. There's nothing that can beat that. Yeah, yeah. So. And Katie says, amazing when people make a stand and spread the energy. You're amazing. Well, you're amazing, Katie. You're amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also, I want to say that immigrating, anyone who's done, my parents immigrated to Canada. Immigrating is hard. Yes. It's a tough go. It's I don't care if you're of color, if you're white, if you're from. It's tough to come into Canada. Yeah. It's tough to come from somewhere else. Yes. And what was that like for you? What was that experience like for you? I know what it was like for my parents, but what was it like for you? Yeah, you know, I think it's even hard for the next generation, but you know, because they sort of don't have that deep the roots and the family and everything, but you know, right. Yeah. I mean, it was very difficult, but I can, you know, at the time I was like, what am I doing? Why, you know? And then, you know, I had babies, and, you know, life just starts moving forward very quickly.
and career and business and work and whatever. So, you know, it was like I'd taken the step forward, and it was like I couldn't really go back, but I was stuck in a little bit of a no man's land, and I was, you know, sort of a little shut down for a long time. And
so it was tough.
It was very, very tough. You know, I'd lost touch with my roots. I you know, the culture, my family, everything I loved, my whole identity was lost. I had to re-find myself, and it took me many years, but eventually, you know, I think I started to see there was a reason for this journey. You know, there's a reason for all of our lives. Everything that happens to us, I believe it's there to make us grow, to help us learn. And sometimes you're meant to leave somewhere. It's like a seed. If a seed stays in one little place and the wind doesn't take it, nothing's going to grow. If it doesn't fall from the tree, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to... So for me, I knew there was some reason I had to leave. I had to go.
We get into our comfort zones.
Yeah.
We get into our little nuzzly comfort zones. And to be honest with you, I mean, we all kind of love our comfort zone, you know. But it is exactly that comfort zone that stops the progress and the potential. The potential, because the seed is all just potential.
And you don't have to leave a country to do that. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
you
I
don't.
mean, you know, it just so happened, you know, my husband was looking to advance his career and all that stuff. So that's why, you know, we sort of left, but he had other opportunities. But you don't have to leave the country. You just have to leave the place inside of you that says, I'm too small. I can't do this. Stop dimming your light.
That's so true and so powerful. Stop dimming your light. And not only stop dimming your light, but it's, you know, tell me what you think you have done in your life, in addition to immigrating, in addition to the variety of things you've created, that are big examples of your decision to shine. Because I know that's not easy. That's not easy.
You know, I just knew I was always attracted to people who were the example of conscious leadership. I always was soaking up everything that they had to teach, and I would watch everything they do and how they are as people. Who are they? And I was very fortunate to, you know, work with people who were those kinds of people, and I just soaked it up, you know, and I just knew that this was so deep inside of me, you know, this experience. And I would say, you know, it was when I started Shyft events, you know, I was working full time. I was, you know, doing all of that, and it was great. I mean, you know, it was an absolutely amazing experience, and I learned a ton. But I just knew, you know, there was going to come a time where it was time for me to blossom and to take this a little step further. And so I would say that...
Was it scary for you?
It was. I mean, it was, you know, because you're leaving your comfort zone. Right. And the other thing I would say was motherhood. You know, I think that is the most courageous thing I've ever done.
And talk about conscious leadership within parenting. It's everything.
And that's tough.
That is the toughest damn
one.
thing, of course.
That's
I mean, you know, what is the definition of integrity? How do you behave when no one's looking?
Exactly.
You know, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
And so this is a very big thing. When I talk about people being conscious leaders, it's not only, you know, the companies and countries, it's families and parenting and all of that.
And yourself.
Leading and governing yourself.
First.
Exactly.
It starts with
it's
you.
Powerful. So have you ever heard of this game Sparked?
I saw you using it on your show a few times.
I think it's so cool. It's a great game. It has such a nice way to ask some sort of deepish questions, but it is a way to, I don't know, expand the conversation in many ways. So Sparked, check it out, guys. It's a great game. Sparked. Ryan Radin is always so wise. I was 12 when I got to go to Queen's Park to hear Nelson Mandela speak after he was freed after 27 years. It was a touching moment. One of the lessons I've taken away from listening to Nelson Mandela and following his life is that a leader must make decisions from the perspective of serving others and not themselves. They must always see the big picture in order to help those they lead and lead by example.
Absolutely.
God bless you, Ryan. And what the F is happening to so many leaders right now on the planet? What the F? Like, wake up.
Step up. Like, honestly.
You know, honestly, what the hell are you doing? You're leading through fear. you know, that's all you're doing is you're leading through fear.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into politics. We both agreed
Yeah.
that we wouldn't get into politics today. But let's just say that we're talking about conscious leadership. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about conscious leadership,
yes.
which I think is completely different from politics.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
Absolutely.
So don't give us any commentary on us talking politics, because that's not what we're doing. We're talking conscious leadership.
Yeah.
And to me, Nelson Mandela was the example of that. He started that concept. Exactly.
100%.
So, okay, so give yourself a spin. We got gratitude, generosity, love, passion, opportunity, happiness, adventure, inspiration. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
And Ryan says most leaders love. Okay, give it a good spin. Oh, did you do opportunity?
It looks like it's an opportunity.
Okay,
yeah.
here, my dear. The opportunity deck is here, so give it a little bit of a shuffle. And Ryan says most leaders love the idea of leading, but not the responsibility that comes with it.
Yes, absolutely.
God, that is so darn true. Jesus, Murphy. And I would say that people forget that when they're afraid.
So.
Okay, so opportunity. It says.
Dream big. What is something you would love to be invited to do or take part in? Oh my goodness. I know.
That's a little sparky question.
Oh, that's a very sparky question.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I honestly, I've never thought about being invited to somewhere.
Come on.
To do something.
What's your dream? What's your thought? Let's see if we can make this happen on a large level for you.
Well, you know.
Shine a light, baby.
You're putting me on the spot.
I am.
I would say, you know, somebody else that exemplifies conscious leadership, I would say, is Oprah Winfrey. I have always admired her. And, you know, she has schools in South Africa, and she is just such a leader. And, yeah, I would say if I could ever meet her and have a chat with her, that would be like...
Oprah, we're coming for you, baby. We're coming for you. And Shuritta's going to meet you because she is a conscious leader as well. And so I think that we can maybe make that happen. We'll see. Put it out in the ethos.
Yeah, we'll put it out in the universe.
Yes. So I'm going to take your glasses off. I'm going to spin. There we go. And I got gratitude.
Oh,
well, last night I was at the most amazing speaker slam, which was all about gratitude, and it was so powerful. Everybody's story was just mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing.
No surprise that you're picking this today.
I know. I mean, come on.
Something you're resonating with.
I'm totally resonating. Thank you, universe, for all the wonderment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the struggles. Thank you for the lessons.
The lessons, the big ones.
You know, thank you for the insights. Thank you for the love. I really feel you. Yes. Whoa. Okay, so here we go. The one in my hand, or is that?
I think you got two there.
I know I did.
That
really.
one fell out of the pack.
Yeah. What's a book that has positively impacted your life? Oh my God, I cannot wait to share with you guys. Well, number one, I would say the number one book that changed my life to start. Okay. I would say that what took me out of a perspective that I have no power in my life to realizing that I have power in my life was simply Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. I got wind of that book in 1989 when my father died. And it changed everything when I learned that, oh my God, I can think in a certain way and my life can change.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This is what... Are you effing kidding me?
Yeah.
That I could change my thinking and then my life would change?
Yeah.
When I got that information, it was literally like a lightning bolt came into my brain and changed everything. Changed my entire...
Wow.
It just changed everything. And so that book just... And then the next book was The Power Is Within You, which was her second book. And then I got into some Wayne Dyer. And then I got into a guy named Stuart Wilde, who wrote The Force. I was just like, eating up this stuff,
Yeah.
eating up
Yeah.
this stuff like you wouldn't even imagine. And Roisin, I love your name, Roisin. Roisin says, I
That's
love
beautiful.
Ellen DeGeneres' motto, be kind to everybody.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, there's a lot of people who are leading consciously.
That's right.
Whether you're, as we were saying, in your home, in yourself, whether you're a celebrity, an actor, singer, and there are many examples of those people.
But some people don't even know what leading consciously is, so they need to expose themselves to different people's books and information.
Yeah.
That you have the power. Like some people, I know people who are like, oh, well, that's just the way we are. That's just the way I am. No, it's not just the way you are. It's the way you're actually subconsciously choosing at every split second before your thought. And that is the power you have. A split second before the thought, you can change that thought.
Yes.
And that's what is the beginning of consciousness raising and awareness creation within you.
Absolutely.
But awareness alone can do nothing.
Yeah.
Awareness alone can do nothing. You need action behind the awareness.
Yes.
And another one that came up that I just want to quickly, what's the best thing that happened to you? What's a book that impacted your life?
I would say when I read Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is. I would say that book was like my lightning bolt, and I love Louise Hay. She was at the forefront of everything.
That's right. But Byron Katie, she's
her books
amazing.
were amazing.
Yes.
But that kind of just made me go, oh my gosh, like 100% of what happens to you is your responsibility.
Which people really find difficult.
It's powerful.
Yes,
it's very difficult. It's like you have to really take responsibility. And it really made me look at everything in my life. And I was like, I can't blame you. I can't blame circumstances. I can't push this on you. This is all me. All me. And I think that's also where another level of consciousness comes from. When you realize you are powerful, beyond all your circumstances. You have to just take responsibility for that.
Now,
take responsibility for your light too. Not just the dark, the good.
The good and the bad.
Yes.
What I would say is that the thing I love about Byron, and she talks about responsibility, personal responsibility, but a lot of people see that as blame. Blaming yourself, shaming yourself.
No.
That is not the same as taking personal responsibility.
Yeah. I think it's taking your power back.
That's right. I believe you're not to blame for the traumas you suffered as a child, but I believe us are responsible for how we now conduct ourselves after that.
What you do with it.
What you do with it, what lessons you learn, how you perceive it, how you experience it, and then how you, learn and share from it. But no, when you're a child, and because people have argued this with me big time, says it was not my fault that this and that and the other happened as a child. I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I agree that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to do something with it that's positive. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So people need to remember that when we say you're responsible for everything, and when Byron Katie says that, it's not about shame and blame for the stuff you went through as a child. No. Big time. Okay, so I really want to be clear about that, because I know that Byron Katie has received some of that feedback.
Yes.
Right, and so there's that's tough.
Yeah.
And I want to say, so what's the best thing that happened to you this past month?
Being here today.
And by the way, everybody, it's Shuritta's birthday.
Don't do that.
I saw that today. I was like, oh my God, it's Shuritta's birthday.
Well, I couldn't think of anybody better to spend the morning with than you.
I'm so pleased. Yeah. But I love birthdays. I'm such a celebrator of birthdays. I don't care if it's a special birthday or not. Yeah. Give me 13, 52.
Well, I'm going to go have a cappuccino. Might have a little glass of,
tonight.
Something
yes,
tonight.
Exactly. Good. And maybe a nice little dinner.
Oh, yes.
Yes, a nice little dinner.
Yeah.
But happy birthday.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
birthday.
Thank you.
And the best thing that's happened to me this month, I would say, I can't say it, but because there's some stuff happening that is positive outcomes from my efforts. So putting out good positivity and then great outcomes coming. Right, Katie? Right, Katie? So I shut up, Katie. So the thing is that there is that the other thing that happened to me this month that is really amazing is I joined an emerging speakers mastermind storytelling with Rena and Dan from Speaker Slam, and that community just rocks my world.
Well, I have to say, when I went to watch you speak at Speaker Slam, I was
so glad
blown away by what they're doing.
Oh,
I mean, it is phenomenal.
talk about, it's a number
Wow.
one, I would say it's a number one inspirational speaking
Yeah.
contest in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's a contest which triggers some people because it's a competition. It's a competition and it's
Yeah.
freaking people out. It freaked me out. But it's powerful. It's such a powerful,
Yeah.
energetic.
Yeah.
Well,
it definitely pushes you out of your comfort zone, I'm sure.
talk about getting the F out of your comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
And I say that pain, like getting out of your comfort zone,
Yes.
is the currency we have to pay for growth and transformation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pain.
Yeah.
Pain is, and the pain of moving past your guilt, moving past your shame, moving past your comfort zone is what we got to pay. And you know, I don't think there's any other way. No other way. So, and that's what you will pay for your transformation and your growth. What is the most awe-inspiring experiences you've had in the past year? So, sort of the same kind of question, but in the past year.
Gosh.
Some good experiences.
Yes, I mean, I have, you know, it's not an epic experience.
It's not about
but
epic.
Yeah, it's
The quotidian is just as powerful.
I love going, you know, backcountry canoeing in Canada, where we have the most beautiful lakes and nature. It is going up into Algonquin. We, you know, my husband, myself, and the kids. You know,
Algonquin is so special.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
No, that is so special.
And we get in the canoe. All our stuff is in the canoes. We take a couple of canoes and we just go right in. And you know, there's no people
and you're portaging?
Portaging,
Oh, wow.
heavy canoes.
Wow.
Ooh, backpacks, you know, the whole thing, portaging.
Wow.
You know, lakes, portaging, and you know, we go way up.
I've done that.
And
it's hard.
You can't describe, you know, you can say to people, oh, it's beautiful, but you can't really describe the feeling when you're up there. It's just this peaceful, beautiful, and the smell of the air is, and the water, and it's just so spectacular.
And also, my biggest memory of that park, Algonquin, driving through it.
It's one of my favorite places.
We've driven right through it. It's wild to do that because there's nothing on either side of you other than green. But going in and portaging, I've done that once, and it's a hard thing. I've done, you know. But the thing that most strikes me about that is that the lakes are so glass,
so beautiful,
and there's this sort of this mirror image when you take pictures, and when you wake up in the morning, that beautiful mist on the lakes, you're just like, how is this even? How are we even on the planet with this?
I feel like, you know, my husband and I usually get up really early in the morning, and the mist is just starting to move on the lake.
Oh my God!
And sometimes you can't see like more than, you know, 3 or 4 meters in front of you.
Yes.
And we make some tea on the fire. And we just watch the mist and the, you know, the birds, and it's just like you feel like you're in heaven. It's so peaceful and beautiful.
So that's one of the biggest things that happened to you this year. I really appreciate what you're saying. I really, really do. You have a profound appreciation for the moment. I feel whenever I speak to you, you're just so present. You're right in the moment, and I want to leave people with the concept. Speak to them about putting you on the spot. 1 to 3 things that people need to remember if they're consciously leading. So conscious leading within yourself, within your community, within your family, within your job, within your country, within your whatever. What would you say are 2 or 3 things that they need to, that we all need to, in your view, because you lead also at work, you do different interesting things, and you got Shyft events, which you've created, which is a leadership thing, a leadership position, and being able to bring people together that has a leadership aspect to it. Talk to people about what's the first thing they need to start to embrace when they're thinking, I'm going to consciously lead.
You know, well, for me, I'll just talk from my own experience.
That's right.
I'm not a leadership expert or anything, but
No,
I will just say...
You're an insightful person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will just say, you know, for me, it's always, when I see somebody, I always look into their eyes, and I want to see you. I really want to see you. And so when I look into their eyes, you know, I'll just use some example. I was looking at this woman, and she was fairly elderly, and she had these beautiful little turquoise earrings, and her hair was grey, and she had blue eyes, and she was a little frail. But I just looked at her and I thought, wow, you are so beautiful. you know, and the turquoise earrings just lighted her eyes, and I was like, you have got stories, you know, and I want to look at people, I want to see people. So, you know, no matter whether somebody triggers you, whether a person triggers you, a community triggers you, however big you want to take it, always understand there's another side.
Yeah.
If we could just see each other respectfully, you know, I know it can get complicated, but just see the other person in a respectful manner and understand there's always another side.
Yeah.
And, you know, just really try to understand that is something I always try to do, no matter who you are, what background, culture, whatever you're from.
So powerful. Because it's not rocket science, but it's also not easy.
Well, we tend to judge very quickly.
We do.
We jump to a conclusion in 5 seconds, and we've already made up a story about who you are. And yes, that story is going to present itself naturally, but I would say, you know, just try and go open that curtain and look behind it and see who is that person. Why? Maybe they're behaving in a really disrespectful, hateful manner, but try and see where is their pain coming from. Why are they in pain? Why are they suffering?
Yeah.
And try and reach for that.
And that's not easy.
Yeah.
That is not an easy concept, because especially if you are feeling hurt
Yes.
by that person,
Yes.
you know, so that's not easy, but
No.
it is courageous to
Yeah.
look beyond the surface.
No, it's definitely
It's
not
courageous.
easy.
No, it's, you know, but it is so crucial, because our planet is hungry
Yeah.
for that, you know, hungry for that. And this notion of being present moment is so, you know, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
When you're talking to people and you are in the present moment, it's so different for how a lot of conversations are going.
Yeah.
A lot of conversations are not that
Yes.
present.
And I would say, you know, another way, sorry to cut you.
No.
I would say another way to do that is to ground yourself. And we all have different ways of grounding ourselves. Some people meditate, some people walk in nature, some people pray, whatever it is, or maybe a few
So that's
things.
another aspect of conscious leadership.
I would say is grounding yourself.
Okay.
You know, constantly taking what's going on in the mind and just sinking to the level of the heart. And if you can do that, you know, it can take you a few seconds just to do that. You know, sometimes if you're sitting at a traffic light, you know, your mind is racing. Just close your eyes for a few seconds and just into the heart, you know. And I just feel that sort of makes the head and the heart meet halfway,
Right.
because you need the two to communicate, you know, like meet halfway so that you can communicate what you're trying to do in the world, and not just from the head or not just from the heart.
Really powerful words, and also real meat for people to take with them, you know. We're starting to round out our conversation, so how are people going to find Shyft events? Is there a website?
Yeah, so Shyft events is you just go to shyftevents.com.
SHYFT.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the Y is the shift, so
Yeah.
shyft.com. But we're also, we do a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
So our
There's a
community
page
is,
and a group.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you
what's
can
your
go to
group?
Shyft.
Your group called?
Yeah, so you can go to Shyft Events on Facebook. You'll find us there as well. And then we also have, you know, a group in there for women. It's called Women with a Plan, where we also do, you know, workshops. And, you know, I'm wanting to do more and more of the deep stuff and the leadership and, you know, all sorts of stuff. So I'm very excited about the journey ahead. It's just, you know, sort of
We've just begun.
unfolding.
Yes,
It's just
exactly.
begun.
Stop Dimming Your Light
Yes.
will be what I facilitate as a beta test that I want to make as a big program, but it's a 2-hour, you know, really the meat of it, and I'm going to be getting some feedback and sharing some real gems with you guys about why we dim our light and how to stop dimming your light, and also actual tools that I use every day in my super duper busy practice with my clients, with couples. I literally work that stuff every bloody day, and how we actually can stop dimming our light and stop doing things that we don't even know is dimming our light.
Yeah.
And because we subconsciously have taken that on as something that we just do naturally to adjust, to fit in, to not feel rejected. So this is what we're on Wednesday, the 25th,
Yep.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7:30.
Oh,
So, well, come at 7.
Yeah, but
we're happy to have you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. 7:30 to 9-ish,
Yeah,
9:30.
yeah.
And there's going to be an opportunity to do some questions and answers and some communing with me and with Shuritta and with a great group. And tickets, go on Eventbrite, look,
Yeah.
Stop Dimming Your Light. Go on Shyft events.com.
Or Facebook,
Or-
Shyft Events.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the event there, and you can get your tickets there. And again, we've priced it so nominally, just because we just want people there, and I want to really beta test the information.
Yeah.
And so come meet me.
It's gonna be
I'll
great.
have some books there that I've written to sign, and it'll be really, really awesome. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. And I'm so glad that you came to Courageous Conversations. Everybody, just remember, in Courageous Conversations, there's a closed group, a support group called Courageous Conversations with Victoria, Lori, and Fabish. Please join if you feel that's what you need or what resonates with you. It's a lovely group of support, and it's free, and it's closed, so it's safe. Please join us there. Like my pages if you can. Courageous Conversations with Victoria, Lori, and Fabish. Courageous Conversations. I have a lot of pages.
Yeah, you have a lot.
But come and join and be part of the community and part of the groundswell of conscious leadership, conscious behavior with self and others. Have courageous conversations with yourself and others. Last thoughts. Any last thoughts you wanna just leave everyone with?
Just, live your life. Live it to the fullest.
Yeah.
And do what you came here to do.
And bring that Ubuntu
Yes.
energetic. I am because we are.
Yes.
Community. Build that community. Don't do it alone.
Yeah.
You're stronger in a group, really.
Yeah.
And you can still shine within the group.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's where you shine.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. All right. So thanks again for coming.
Thank
I really
you so
appreciate that.
much.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I know that's uncomfortable sometimes for people, but no, fuck
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
excuse me. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Exactly. All right. So lots of love, everybody.
Yeah,
Keep having
thank
courageous.
you so much.
Keep having courageous conversations with yourself and
Yeah.
others. All right.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye for now.